Peace and greetings. Welcome back to my channel. This is Deja Serenidad, and today I'm going to be reviewing and talking about The Alchemist. My name is Deja, and I hope you find serenity. I hope you find serenity. I hope you find serenity. This was my first time reading The Alchemist. I've heard of the book, of course, as long ago as maybe even in high school. I think I even had a teacher say something about The Alchemist a long time ago. And since then, I just heard about it. But I never ended up ordering it or just coming across it until now. So I just had a volunteer here all of the month of March named Grace. So shout out to Grace for gifting me this book. And she was reading it, and then when she left, she decided to leave it with me so I could read it. So I'm very grateful. This was the fastest I've ever read a book in my life. Like I literally read it in like 3 or 4 days, and I just sat down for 20 or 30 minutes, or maybe an hour sometimes, because time kind of goes away from me when I'm reading. But I would just sit down once a day for these 3 or 4 days and just read through, and I got through quite a bit. It's quite a short book. So yes, let's talk about it. By the way, all of this should look very familiar if you watch my channel, because I just filmed another video before this. The sun was different though, so we have a little bit of a different vibe. But yeah, I was not about to change clothes just to make the illusion that it was another moment in time. Like, the reality is I felt like filming that one, and then I felt like filming this one. So same day, different video. All right. So first of all, if you haven't read the book, I recommend you don't watch this video, because I'm going to spoil some things. And I'm not going to just sit here and tell the whole story. I just want to talk about my experience of it, but I will share certain details. So if you haven't read it yet, go read it and then come back. So yes, The Alchemist is by Paulo Coelho. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. But this is I'm really like admiring it. This particular cover is very beautiful. I've seen the book look a lot of ways. But this one is like orange and yellow, which is really nice. And the back is nice with this moon. And the quote they put on the back is, "To realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation." To realize one's destiny is a person's only obligation. Just when I read the back of the book, I knew. I was like, uh-oh. Because I feel like so much about this book really aligned with my life and my personal experience. I've even been to the places, except for the pyramids, like the places he talks about in the book. So yeah, it was just a really beautiful story. I enjoyed it so much. And I mean, it's the story of our life journey and following our heart, learning to follow our heart, learning to listen to our heart, following the omens, as they say in the book. And for me, my life has been full of omens. And I haven't always called them omens. I've called it more so signs. I've called it guidance. But there has been so much of that. So many like synchronicities. I also call them synchronicities that show me, oh, this is the way that I need to go. This is what I am meant to do. And especially the listening to the heart. I feel like that is what I have been learning so much in these years. That's how I ended up here in Costa Rica, living on my farm, because this is my, what does he call it? My personal journey. This is my personal journey. This is my destiny, what I'm living. And there was this whole path here that I had to take, these trials and tribulations and lessons. And I've always seen it as, oh yes, there's so many lessons that we're meant to learn on our journey. That's why it's not always about the destination. It's about the process. It's about the journey. So this book is about this young man on this journey, learning to follow his heart, follow his destiny, and find his treasure. And it's just such a touching story. I love it. I also love that it never gets too dark. It's like clear, like a few things happen, but they don't go into too deep detail about those parts. it is a very short book. So I could appreciate the way that it was written, the way that Paulo wrote it, where he didn't go too deep into detail about certain things. Like, he just gave us the understanding from what happened during this part that was important, and then he moves on. And I can appreciate that. And as a person who writes as well, as a writer, I'm like, I learned a lesson from that. I'm like, yes, sometimes you've said enough and then you can move forward. And I think that's what made it so easy to read as well, which I appreciated that, even though it could have been a little longer. Honestly, I would have loved to hear more in the end. And I'll definitely try to read another book by him, because in the back of this book it actually has like a list of his other books by him, and some of them caught my eye. Like, there's one called The Pilgrimage, so I'm like, yeah, that seems like something I would want. And Warrior of Light also sounds interesting, so I'm definitely going to check out more by him. Yeah, y'all, I learned so much. And what I learned were lessons I've already learned, but they were enhanced, they were reinforced by reading this story. I was grateful, though, to be reading it now. I'm grateful that I'm reading it now and not in the past, because now I do feel so aligned with what I'm doing and how I'm living, and I feel like I've been on a long journey to get here. So to read something like this when I've done this is extremely powerful. It's extremely like resonant, and yeah, I have nothing but love for this story and for how it made me feel, how much it reminded me of, and it made me laugh. It made me laugh out loud. In the end, when he gets to the pyramids and he finds that his treasure is back where he started his journey, but he needed to come all the way there to go back with that newfound like knowledge and wisdom and all of the amazing people that he met along the way. And I was just laughing because I was like, wow, this is my story, y'all. This is, I see it so much reflected in my life. It made me really laugh because I came to Costa Rica in 2017. I left in 2018. I went to Spain, and I've been in this place that he speaks of. I've been to southern Spain, the port where it goes from Tarifa to Morocco. And I've had that experience years ago, but I've had that experience. And so that was just a cool alignment, because I'm like, I could really have a visual for it. But anyways, in my journey, I was in Costa Rica. I went to Spain. And then after only a year in Spain, I decided to move back to Costa Rica because everything fell apart for me there. And I just kept getting this deep call, like my heart was screaming, go back to Costa Rica, go back to Costa Rica, go back to Costa Rica. And I was like, okay, I'm going, I'm listening, I'm going back. And I went back, and I came back, and I went to a lot of the same places from my first journey here. And those places and those opportunities and those people aligned me with everything that happened leading up to me being here. I'm not going to tell the whole story because I've told it in another video before too. But literally all those things, people are about to be right here. But yeah, literally all of those things, I'm gonna let this moto pass. People are building a house right next to me now. So now, like, from where I'm sitting, I can literally see where they're building the house, like to my left, and the workers just arrived. So I'm about to have to cut this video short because there are gonna be men out here and I wanna go inside. So yeah, y'all. So basically I was in Costa Rica, went back to Spain, and then I ended up being so deeply called back to Costa Rica that I had to come back. And even that's when the COVID times hit. And again, there was this shift where I was in one part of Costa Rica and I was pulled deeper south. I was pulled here to where I'm living now. And all of that was me having to listen to the call, because I was told, and like I had a deep like cry and like awakening in my time, like when I was deciding to leave Spain and move back to Costa Rica. Like I literally had a vision, like I was crying and I was meditating, I was in this deep space. And then I felt this clear sign, this clear message, like I need to help women. I need to help women who've gone through things like that I've gone through, and who have feel this pain that I'm feeling, that I'm transmuting right now. Like, I need to help people to heal, and I want to help women heal. I want to host retreats. It was my first time ever thinking about that in my life, about hosting retreats. And that was in the end of 2019. And then so I came December 30th of 2019. I returned to Costa Rica, and I had no idea COVID was about to hit. I had no idea. So literally the end of 2019, I'm getting this call, like, go to Costa Rica, go to Costa Rica, Costa Rica, go to Costa Rica. And I get here, and I ended up moving down here to the OSA in March of 2020 when COVID hit. And it didn't even hit down here for a long time after that, and really I didn't experience it at all. Like, I was literally outside in the ocean, in the rivers, in the waterfall during that whole time, like having a normal, beautiful, amazing life. Best time of my life. And that's when I found the land, and that's why I got the land at such a good cost. So it was like everything was just perfect. Everything was perfect. And there's so many things I had to go through, things I had to lose, things I had to learn. But ultimately, I just kept holding the vision and kept following my heart. And then I found my treasure, which for me, my treasure is the finca. And my treasure is this feeling that I have of freedom and autonomy and love and connection to the land. Like, this is my treasure, my greatest treasure. The book also helped me to realize that I have more in my heart that I haven't fully expressed. Like, I have so much music in my heart, y'all. I'm truly a singer and a musician, and I have shared my music before, but I want to share it at a higher capacity, and I want to share it, especially the newer music, now that I'm playing guitar. Like, I'm such a beginner on the guitar that I felt like weird about recording myself, because I'm like, in person, it's a nice vibe, but I'm not that good at the guitar. I'm really better at singing. But the songs, they need to be heard. The messages that I've been channeled, that I have channeled, and just the things that I have to say in the way that I have to say them, it just feels like that is what else is in my heart and what I need to continue to realize, and I'm still on that journey. So yeah, this book really helped me so much. It really helped me understand more about alchemy, and I'm like, yeah, that's this whole life, right? Like, it's everything that I'm doing right now is alchemy, in every way. And I'm literally gonna have to read it again to process more, and maybe write about it too. But I wanted to go ahead and make this video and just share my initial thoughts. I just finished it yesterday, and I was sad this morning because I had been reading it each morning. I was sad this morning. I was like, oh, like, I'm already finished. So instead of reading, I'm talking to y'all about it, and I'm about to dive right back in. So yeah, I highly recommend. Of course, you should have already read it, but I highly recommend even rereading it. That's probably why this is coming to you, why this is coming up. I would love to know what y'all thought of the book and how it shows up in your own personal journeys as well. So y'all can let me know in the comments. Peace, gratitude, and of course, I hope you find serenity. Hope you find serenity.